You have 5 minutes, Deputy Smith.
As somebody like Deputy Burton who believes in equality, I'll take about 7 minutes. Is that all right? I just can't believe some of the stuff I do here in this House, really. And I'll just give you my impressions of what's happened tonight. Do you remember the episode in Fawlty Towers when he's arguing with the German people about don't mention the war, don't mention the war. You started, you invaded Poland. This is exactly what this is like. Don't mention the war isn't in it, because we now have this plus all the amendments which cover everything from an ageing population, which the previous government lashed into, cut their fuel allowance and cut their phone allowance. The government before that, under Fianna Fáil and the Greens, cut their medical cards. The previous government made them work an extra 3 years. This government is about to close their post offices. We're also going to discuss fixed-term parliaments, which, if you don't survive this term, you may have to just rearrange your arrangements between your parties rather than go before the people in an election. The Greens want to bring in climate change. Sinn Féin want to bring in political reform, Brexit, the Good Friday Agreement, Irish unity, and the elephant in the room is the 8th Amendment. That's why we're discussing this Citizens' Assembly, and yet it is not being treated with the seriousness and the absolute urgency that it deserves. Instead of that, we don't mention not only the 8th Amendment, but when we ignore that, we're ignoring our history. Savita Halappanabar, who won't get to vote in any of these referendum, Miss X, Miss Y, Miss C, and the 12 women a day who travel abroad, and the countless women, the countless young women, we're not sure how many, who wait for the postman or woman every morning to deliver a package that contains an abortion pill, risking being sentenced to 14 years in prison at the courtesy of a last government, a sentence that was put into the last piece of legislation and which the Labour Party voted for. So let's do away with all the hypocrisy and all the lies, and let's get the record straight. I didn't snigger at Mattie McGrath earlier on, but I did sort of laugh at the language he used, like a free-for-all. Like as if we passed a motion now to repeal the 8th Amendment, have a referendum to repeal it, because the people will decide that we'd be going into shops and saying, I'll have that one and that one and that one, abortion on demand. It is to entirely misunderstand where women are at and what goes on in their lives and what their issues are. Would we seriously, for example, discuss having a citizen assembly on a procedure that would help men live healthier lives and give them freedom of choice, that would probably even stop men losing their lives? Would we seriously discuss that? No, we wouldn't. And if we were to discuss it, would we throw in Brexit, the North, you know, the CO2 emissions, the whole 9 yards? No, we would not. So what we are doing here is we're penalising women again and denying them bodily autonomy. I lived through 33 years of living with the repeal, having campaigned, or having lived with the 8th Amendment, having campaigned against it. And I now know generations of women and young men who haven't had a say in this and are mad to have a say in it. They really want to vote on getting rid of the 8th Amendment, and maybe there's others who want to vote on keeping it. But we should give them that opportunity. An old one like me has no right to deny future generations that right. Neither have most people in this House who are my age and older, including the younger ones. And I just want to say that if we trust people, like we did on the question of the referendum of same-sex marriage, we might get a result we don't like, or maybe we will get a result we like. But the point is to give this generation and the one behind them the opportunity to vote. And just to comment on the make-up of the Citizens' Assembly, do you know what? If you're going to use the electoral register as a sort of a lottery random selection of citizens, you're going to exclude migrant workers, the point already made by Deputy Coppinger. But I reckon you're also going to exclude a whole cohort of people who may, in the end of the day, register to vote for repeal the 8th, but don't register now because they see this system doesn't relate to their needs, to their future. They're alienated from it, just like 60,000 extra people registered to vote in the same-sex marriage referendum. So this is not reflective of society. It is not reflective of the needs of the people in this country, and it certainly is holding back women. So we want with our amendment, which is the number 2 amendment, is to take that elephant out of the room, to stop the faulty towers phenomena of not mentioning the war, to go for the jugular and put through a piece of legislation that will allow our citizens vote on whether or not they want to repeal the 8th Amendment, instead of using this. I actually call this repulsive type of methods of kicking for touch and getting rid of the issues that really matter to people. And as a young woman, I remember living through Anne Lovett, the Kerry babies, Sheila Hodgers, who died in the Drogheda Hospital. And we used to say, we cannot allow this happen again.
Good.
Well, it has happened again, and it will happen again, unless we really deal with it. And there's an urgency about this. It's been 33 years in the Constitution. It's not like we're saying, oh, hang on, give us another 3 months because we must have a conversation, as the Minister said. We've had the conversations. People have made up their minds.
Good,
let us give them a vote on it.
Good, Margaret.